always tells me to smile and put on a happy face. She told me I had a purpose to bring laughter and joy to the world. Hey, stop them! Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by.
What?
If you smile to your fear and sorrow, smile, and maybe tomorrow you'll find that life is still worthwhile. If you
What's so funny?
just
Freak!
Gotham has lost its way. What kind of coward would do something that cold-blooded? Someone who hides behind a mask.
I used to think that my life was a tragedy. But now I realize it's a comedy.
if you just smile.
Hello, welcome back. I'm Shaquille Jefferson, your host, and I'm joined with my co-host, Michael Jennings.
Hello there.
First off, what was your take on the movie? Like your overall take?
I almost loved it. I wouldn't quite say I loved the performance and I loved the cinematography, but there was something lacking in the writing that needed a little bit more for me. But I still would give it. I still think it's a really good movie.
Okay. Well, let's get into the scores. The Rotten Tomatoes score on the premiere day is 69%, but its audience score is 93%.
Right. Yes.
In my opinion, I feel like they gave it the 63% because it has been done so much.
I could see that.
Like in a sense to where it kind of becomes a parody sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
You feel like, why are we seeing this?
Yeah, like
again
and again and again. But I usually don't go off their score. I go off the audience score because. Yeah. But I feel like the audience gave it 93% because what you get from the movie. It's a standalone movie. It's different from what we've previously seen with the other Jokers.
Right.
And it clearly stands by itself.
Exactly. I also think the audience score could have been so high because the last Joker we saw was such a dumpster fire that anything after it was...
That's why I was skeptical going to see it at first, because I was like, past disappointments, I'm not up for it. But I'm glad I did, in a sense, because it was nice, because I literally sat in my car 10 minutes after leaving the theater, like, contemplating, like... Same here. Wow. Yeah, like, wow. Like, all of that, and it blew my mind. So, Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Let's get into Phoenix.
Love him. My favorite actor of all time.
Truly shocked.
So, yes.
I was shocked.
You were shocked when you heard about his casting or his performance?
A little of both.
A little bit of both?
Actually, because the performance, to me, the performance... I had faith in him. Like, I had faith in him. I was like, he can pull it off. Like,
I had too much faith in him. Yeah.
He can pull it off. And so when I seen it, really, that was why I wanted to go see it, because he was cast in it. And I was like, that should be an interesting twist.
For sure.
On, like, the overall aspect of it. And everything, and I feel like he did a great job of getting into character.
I feel the exact same. That was my reasoning for wanting to go see the film too, because I was not excited for the 4 billionth comic book film in the last 6 months. I was excited to see a Joaquin Phoenix performance, and I think I think he did really good.
Yeah, because to me, to play Joker, you have to get in a very, very deep, dark place.
Yes.
And I feel like he did that in a sense to it. He made it look effortless.
He did.
You know?
You could see, I'm not going to say he made it look effortless, because you could see the effort he was putting in.
Yeah,
You could see that he was trying. You could see he was trying because, he went all out. He went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, he's getting, if not a nomination, the award. Like, he has to.
I think it's
has
time
to.
for him to have an Oscar, and I think that
He has to.
Roger Ebert used to say that the Best Acting award at the Oscars doesn't always go to the best actor; it goes to the most actor. Who did the most acting? And I think Joaquin Phoenix did the most acting in this movie.
One thing that I liked about it also is that we get to see it from his perspective.
Yes.
Like, it's from his view of the snowball into becoming the Joker. This doesn't start, here's the Joker, here's the goons, mischief. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I really like that it had a story to it. You
Yes.
know? Not, like, we all know the story, but it had like a different story to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we all know the Joker, but he's never had a clear, defined origin story, so they could go anywhere with this, anywhere at all. So that's another reason I was very excited. So I think that's a part of what made it so interesting, is you finally saw why he is.
And another thing that I caught is that they made him to where he's relatable in a sense.
In a sense, you don't.
Well, you feel I call myself feeling bad for him in some scenes, like when he first did had his chance at stand up and he couldn't get a joke out because the condition,
Right.
And then he finally does it, and then you see him like kind of falling in love in a way,
with this random woman. Yeah, like who was she?
It was. I feel like they could have done a better job in tying that together.
Yeah,
but I mean, give or take.
That was a very sloppy part of the movie, because the whole time you're thinking, who is this woman? Why is she here? And then she didn't exist the entire.
Yeah, now that blew my mind when like they did the flashbacks, and she, like, all the stuff that we seen, like with him and her, and you're like, oh, that's nice, because you feel bad for for Arthur in the movie, because like stuff happens to him, like he's getting jumped, like he got jumped twice in the movie. He got hit with his own sign. He had to pay for the sign that they took from him. He lost his job and everything, and you feel bad for him. And so I feel like him and her made it. How can I say this? They made it flow. If that makes sense, Yeah,
to an extent.
Like it gives it life.
You saw him. He was such a strange dude, and to a point, maniacal guy, cynical guy, to the point where her being there, or at least in his mind, humanized him in those moments. He wasn't just a crazy dude. He was in love. You saw that he could care about somebody. It just turned out she wasn't there.
Yeah, and I felt bad when I found out. Well, when they showed that she wasn't there. Because she was there when he almost bombed the stand-up and then did a great job. And she was there when his mom was in the hospital. And, when he saw the clown poster, he imagined her saying, like, I'm glad the person did that. So it's like some kind of gratification, Like someone you love is happy that you did something. I mean,
this woman,
it wasn't a good thing.
This woman he was enamored with was there validating his every move, at least in his mind. She was who he needed. She was who he needed at the time.
Well, we'll get more into it, but now let's take a break. Let's take a look at our Netflix choices.
The best cancer care starts with the best cancer information. Cancer.net, the award-winning patient information website of the American Society of Clinical Oncology, empowers patients, families, and caregivers by providing timely, oncologist-approved information and resources right at their fingertips. Cancer.net offers comprehensive information on more than 120 types of cancer, side effects, coping, caregiving, clinical trials, and much more. Cancer.net also features a blog, videos, podcasts, and a mobile app. The site is designed to help people with cancer better understand the disease, from diagnosis and treatment through survivorship.
You could just rely on cancer.net. It has very accurate information that can give you hope. It's been a great, great resource.
For more information, visit cancer.net and find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Cancer.net is supported by the Conquer Cancer Foundation.
Hey guys, it's Kayla Kennedy with this week's Streaming and DVD. New to Netflix, we have Fractured, starring Lily Rapp and Sam Worthington. Driving cross-country, Ray and his wife and daughter stop at a highway rest area where his daughter falls and breaks her arm. After a frantic rush to the hospital and a clash with a check-in nurse, Ray is finally able to get her to a doctor. While the wife and daughter go downstairs for an MRI, Ray, exhausted, passes out in a chair in the lobby. Upon waking up, they have no record or knowledge of Ray's family ever being checked in. Also on Netflix is La Influencia, starring Manuela Velez and Maggie Cervantes. After going back to her family home to care for her dying mother, a nurse haunted by her childhood memories must struggle with an evil force who lives in the house. New to Hulu, we have Trespassers, starring Angela Chimber and Janelle Parrish. Two dysfunctional couples rent a modern luxury desert home for the weekend, hoping to sort out their messed up lives. Just as they are about to settle in for a fun night, a neighbor turns up at their front door saying she has car trouble. And that's when the murderous trouble really starts, because without knowing it, the four friends have landed slap bang in the wrong violent place at precisely the wrong bloody time. New to DVD, we have Midsummer, starring Florence Pugh and Jack Reynor. A couple travels to Sweden to visit a rural hometown's fabled Midsummer Festival. What begins as an idyllic retreat quickly devolves into an increasingly violent and bizarre competition at the hands of a pagan cult. Finally, we have Annabelle Comes Home, starring Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. While babysitting the daughter of Ed and Lorraine Warren, a teenager and her friend unknowingly awaken an evil spirit trapped in a doll. That's it for this week's Streaming and DVD. I'm Kayla Kennedy. Let's get you back to the picture show.
Hi, welcome back to Friday Flick Pick. I'm joined here with my host, Michael Jennings. I'm sorry. Let's get into the laugh.
The laugh, yes.
The laugh.
Very key part of being the Joker.
Yes. And I feel like it was interesting.
It was interesting that route they went with why he laughed. Mm-hmm. Like he laughed. It was a condition.
Yeah, and which was caused by his mom. Because she was a little off too.
Yeah, she was a little nuts. We can say that she was nuts.
And he went through like abuse and everything, and suffered brain injuries as a child.
Yes.
And the laugh to me was interesting because I noticed that at the end is when he truly, genuinely laughed. Like it was a genuine laugh.
You could see it in his face.
It wasn't.
You could see it.
Yeah, he saw the all the things that he started, not intentionally, but like his life had a purpose.
Right.
If that makes sense.
That purpose was meaning nothing at all.
Yeah,
he believed in nothing, which is ironic.
He said that too. He said that too when he was backstage at the show. And I feel like a lot of things just happened throughout the movie.
Yeah. Like it didn't feel like there was one narrative thread carrying him throughout the movie.
Yeah,
it felt like it was just
different
moment
avenues.
to moment.
Yeah. And what was great was that they all built on top of each other.
Yes.
Like one moment had something to do with a previous moment or a moment that's coming up.
Yes. It felt like each moment, because at the beginning of the movie, you didn't think he was necessarily absolutely insane. You just thought he was a little weird, loner. But then with each passing moment, you could see it building and building, slowly driving him to that final part on a De Niro show.
When I was expecting more violence.
I was expecting a lot more violence too.
I wanted him to break someone's jaw, but that didn't happen, unfortunately.
I was not necessarily upset that the movie wasn't hyper violent.
But
with all the controversy and all the this is going to inspire awful things and it's going to be the downfall of society, like reviews beforehand. I was a little disappointed with the amount of violence because how many people really died in the movie? 5?
About 5. Well, I know he get his first taste of blood on the subway with the 3 guys.
Yeah, and he was defending himself.
Yeah, but you could see he enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was where the problem would come in.
That's when I was like, there it goes. That's it. And then he also killed his coworker, the guy who gave him the gun.
Yes.
Which was an interesting thing for me was when it fell out of his pants leg or his pocket or
Yeah,
whatever.
while performing for the
in
kids.
the hospital.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting scene to me because I was like, wow. Like, for one, why would you bring it? And then
Right.
his excuse was it's part of my act. And I'm like, but it's still a children's hospital.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good...
You know, like,
Yeah.
no one would find that funny. But I feel like that was a perfect scene that showed how they built on everything.
Yes.
Like the suspense and the emotions of every scene.
The writing was good in the fact that everything that was shown on screen or said on screen was important later in the film. For the I can't think of something that was like, why'd they do that? Other than maybe the Waynes. I don't think they really needed to be.
I'm glad you brought that up. I found that very odd.
Yes.
That they wanted, well, they didn't want them to be half brothers, but they made it seem like
they were going to be, and
and I was like, why would you make them related?
Right.
You know, in a sense. Like,
I think if you're making Joker's story, the Waynes should be a presence in a sense, but I think Thomas Wayne's presence on the TV and his just background presence would have been better than throwing Bruce Wayne and Alfred in there for one scene for no reason at all. Really.
That, and I also feel like the iconic death scene with the Waynes. I feel like they could have left that out.
Yeah, it didn't need to be there. I think it didn't need to be there unless Joker was the one doing it, and it was just some random clown. So it's like, what's the point?
Well, I guess technically he had a part in it because
he caused the riot.
but it didn't make sense to me.
Right.
It was a very weird and shocking moment when he was reading the letter. And, we found that out. I was like,
I think if you cut out that scene, the movie wouldn't be any different.
Yeah, no, it's still an amazing movie with or without it.
Exactly.
Because I feel like it did add something to it, just like a different take on the Joker than what we've already seen.
Yes.
And it gave it something new. Like that's something new to the whole.
And I think that's what we needed with these comic book movies is something new.
Especially with Joker.
Especially with the Joker, because we couldn't do the same thing we did last time at all.
I was very, very, very skeptical of seeing this one because I was like, I hope it's not like the previous letdown because I was really hurt. I was really, really, really hurt.
Yes. So with the origin, were you disappointed with the origin story at all? Because, I mean, they could have done so many different things, and they remade Taxi Driver, essentially.
I'm glad you brought that because I was just about to say, if you've seen Taxi Driver, you kind of know
Taxi Driver and King of Comedy, too.
How it goes, or how it's gonna go, or how the movie was gonna go. But I feel like with the story that they gave them, it gave it a fresh look because it looked into something deeper.
Yes.
How we treat people with mental illnesses, or like when he was on the bus and the little kid, he was just trying to make the little kid laugh, and she's like, "Leave my child alone," and he's like, I just want to make him laugh, and he has to give her the card and everything, and she's like,
she just like,
it shines a light on something different without even trying to shine a light on something different, and it shows how, as a whole, how we need to change some things, if that makes sense.
Because anytime he was trying to get help or he thought maybe he could, something happened.
Like when the program left. Well, let's take a break and we'll get back into that when we come back. Let's take a look at our streaming and Friday Flick Pick.
For years, hackers have used pirated content as a lure to expose consumers to malware. Rogue entertainment boxes used to illegally access pirated movies and TV shows can put you at risk, but you can protect yourself. Criminals use trickery to enter into consumers' homes, explained Tom Galvin, Executive Director of the Digital Citizens Alliance, DCA. The enticement of free movies and television shows on products without a reputable company behind them, he added, creates a fertile ground for malware to spread. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. DCA investigated these devices and found malware on them that stole usernames and passwords, probed user networks, and uploaded user data without consent. Most consumers are unaware of the security risks of plugging one of these devices into a home network. For your cyber safety, keep an eye on the devices that are brought into your home, including by your children. The lure of free pirated content can be tempting, but there is a price.
Hey guys, it's Abby Colvin with this week's Friday Flick Pick. Gemini Man is an innovative action thriller starring Will Smith as Henry Brogan, an elite assassin who is suddenly targeted and pursued by a mysterious young operative that seemingly can predict his every move. Let's take a look at this trailer.
Tell me something. Why is it so hard for you to kill this man?
He knew every move of mine before I made it. I'd have him right there and take the shot. I wanna be forever young. And he'd be gone, like a ghost. Do you really wanna live forever? Who is he? Wanna live
I think I know why he's as good as you. He is you.
25 years ago, they made you from me. They chose me because there's never been anybody like me. We have to end this right now. You have all of his gifts without his pain. You made a person out of another person. Then you sent me to kill him. You made a choice to do this to me.
This thing that you're struggling with, it's fear. Embrace it and then overcome it.
With all the people in the world to come after me, why would he send you?
Well, that's it for this week's Friday Flip Pick. I'm Abby Colvin. Let's get you back to the picture show.
Welcome back. Now, before we end this all, let's talk about the ending.
Yes.
To me, it was somewhat of a cliffhanger because he's just laughing and she's like, you know, what's the joke? And he's like, you wouldn't get it. And then it's him walking out, and all of a sudden we see bloody footprints. Yes. What did you think of that?
Well, at first I thought, like you said just a while ago, that it was just going to be all in his head. And when that was happening, I was like, "There's no way this has been all in his head." I
was hoping it wasn't.
Hopefully,
hoping it wasn't in his head, because I was like, "This too much has happened. Like, this has to be real."
Hopefully, the writers know better than to do that. And then I was worried, but I think when he was walking out with that pool of blood on his feet, each footstep, I think that showed that it wasn't. It wasn't all in his head. I think that showed that he is this insane and that he will kill somebody for no reason, really. And when he said, I thought of a joke, I think he was talking about, you won't find it funny because I'm going to kill you. And that's what's funny to him.
One quick thing. Before we went on break, we were talking about how every time he looked for help, a different roadblock. Like when they stopped his first counsel, he couldn't get his medicine anymore because they stopped the program, which I thought was like, wow. They can refer you to somebody else.
Yeah, I thought that was an odd choice because did he not still have the prescription?
Yeah,
I don't exactly know how medicine works.
Is she like the only counselor in Gotham? You know?
Yeah, in this New York side city. No.
And I just found that very strange too. That they just stopped. Well, they just made it like he just couldn't get his medicine anymore, and that kind of led to, I guess, his greatness. In a sense, it kind of did lead to something great because it made him. It gave him self-gratification, if that makes sense. You know, to just living your truth. Like, we get him, like the stairs. We see scenes of him just sad walking up the stairs. But then he's in full makeup and the costume and everything. He's just dancing, coming down the stairs, joyous. And I like that transition.
There is sort of a positive message of be yourself and you'll be truly happy, but also don't be like that, because that's a bad message to send. Be like the Joker.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Before we go, what is your ranking of the Jokers and why?
I'd say Leto is way down here, and then I'd say it'd be Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix, Mark Hamill, for my personal. Well, no, Joaquin Phoenix, Ledger, Hamill. I got that backwards because I wanted Joaquin Phoenix to be better than Heath Ledger. I want to be better than Mark Hamill, but I think there was things in the writing that could have been done that could have made his performance better that just weren't there. But maybe it'll hold up over time, and maybe it'll get better over time. But right now, I'd say Joaquin Phoenix, Heath Ledger, Mark Hamill.
Do you feel like this movie will hold up over time?
I do think it will. I think it will. Well, I think it's a double-edged sword. I think it will either get way worse. I don't think it'll stay the same. I think it'll either become more loved over time or vilely hated over time. But I don't think it's just going to be like, oh yeah, there's a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Michael, for being my co-host. And have a great day, everybody.